Well, we got a few people awake today. That's always good. It's maybe it's not too bad to have a couple of them sleep too, so that may work. That may work as well. Anyway, to give you some of the obvious, really excited about the win. I just heard Coach Sumlin say we don't take winning for granted, and you better never take it for granted, and that's the way we are. We feel very good about the win, about the defensive performance. We played well for 3 quarters, and I think that's obvious. We didn't play the kind of football that we needed to play in the 4th quarter. That's we've looked at what we did, practice-wise to try to make that happen better this week. But we got to get that fixed. That's obvious. I think we showed a lot of people that that we were capable of playing and playing well. We got to be able to do it for 60 minutes. The positive is that we got put in a stressful situation, and our players responded, and they responded well enough for us to get the win, and that's what's important. There's a lot of pluses and minuses when you look at the film. Areas that we know we got to improve, areas that we're going to focus on and getting better, and then we're going to see a different style offense this week. It's going to be a lot more fast-paced. So that's going to present another problem within itself, but I think we've worked against our offense. They don't go any faster than our guys go when they go fast. So, we'll be prepared for that and looking forward to it, but really proud of the effort. I think our guys played extremely hard. We got to play a little smarter, and, certainly we can get that done. Wasn't anything that happened in the game that we can't fix. We didn't get out after. We didn't get beat, in terms of physicality anywhere. We got good enough players to get it done, so there's not anything that happened Saturday that we can't get fixed, and we've got to get it fixed if we want to keep moving forward. And it's one step at a time. You get this win Saturday, and you start preparing for the next opponent, and that's what it's all about, one step at a time, and we got to keep improving. And teams that improve the most as the season goes along usually are going to be the teams that are going to be there in the end. With that said, I'll start taking questions.
Start in the back with Colin.
Coach, what were your impressions of how your guys defended the run on Saturday?
Well, a couple runs got away from us, but overall, I think we were more physical at the point of attack. Some of the two-back stuff they didn't have very much success with. We'd worked hard on that. We had anticipated seeing that, and I know our guys. We were better. Our linebackers were better. That's one game. We got to be able to do it on a consistent basis, and we got to be able to do it against different styles of offense. And it's if you're not prepared to do those things in the first game, when you got an idea of what you're going to see, then you're going to struggle a little bit more down the road. But I was pleased. I think we played the run very physical, and there was not many times. Now, later in the game we had a few missed tackles, but I thought we tackled well, and that's always a part of playing the run. You have to tackle well to do that, and I thought our guys did a really good job of tackling, particularly early in the game.
Here on the right side, Gabe.
Coach, how pleased were you with your defense's ability to bring pressure throughout the game from multiple areas, not just the defensive end spot?
Well, that's kind of who we are, and we take a lot of pride in being a pressure defense. That's a good portion of our scheme is built around pressure, and we played a great quarterback. That kid was if not the best, as good as anybody I've been on the field with. He had a lot of talent, and he could have made us miserable had we not been able to get pressure on him, and he still made us a little bit miserable at times anyway. So he's a guy that should be playing in the NFL next year, but they won't let him, so he's going to be back for another year, but he's a very talented guy.
We'll stay on the right side, Ben, and then we'll go to Olin.
Coach, what did you expect out of Justin Evans when he came over from JUCO? How did you think he'd fit into your system first year?
Well, Justin had, he was committed, before I got here, and I didn't know, a lot, in terms of evaluating, because I had not evaluated Justin, but certainly he's fit. He's made a great fit. There's no question about that. He's a very talented young man. You look at what he brings, to the table in terms of football. It's outstanding. He loves playing the game. You put that together with being as talented as he is, and then his work ethic, And then the final thing, but maybe the most important thing, outstanding character. When you got all those things, there's a reason that he's playing well, and that's a big part of what that reasoning is, that he has character, he has great talent, he has a great work ethic.
Middle right, Olin, then we'll come to Brent.
John, when did Reggie Chavis start, I guess, raising his profile of where he would get into the rotation so soon?
Well, Reggie played some for us last year, and you could see at times that, he had, what it takes to be able to play at this level. I think he has, grown to be more consistent in his work ethic, more consistent in his technique, and I think Reggie, along with a lot of other people, have gotten bigger and stronger. So it's been a process, but you could see it all along, and we needed for him to to be available and play for us right now, and certainly we're happy along with a bunch of other guys that he's in here and he's playing for us.
Right up here front, Brent, and then we'll go to Scott.
When you say we didn't play the kind of football we needed to in the fourth quarter and we've got to get that fixed, what exactly went wrong for y'all, and how do you go about addressing that with your players?
Well, there's two things that we saw. We had some communication problems from the sideline to the field, and we got to get that addressed. That's on us as coaches. And then, from the mental standpoint, our players, I don't think they let up. And if I thought that, I wouldn't tell you that. But mentally, we're playing really, really well, and now we got to understand that we got to go finish. This team's not going, they're not going to quit, and and for lack of better words, if you got somebody down, don't let them up. Don't let them up, because if you let them up, they're going to punch you right in the mouth. And we played a really good football team, and UCLA had something to do with it too, because they fought back so hard. But that's part of maturity, in a football team, particularly a defensive football team. When we get in that situation, it's got to be a mentality that we're going to get it done, and we will continue to develop that, and we certainly got a lot of players that feel that way. And if you ask them, they'll tell you, hey, we're not happy with the way we played in the fourth quarter, and we shouldn't be, if we want to be a great football team.
Left side, middle, Scott.
Coach, speaking to that point right here, Coach, how encouraging were you about how you got up after a punch in the mouth, the last drive of the game, and then in overtime? It seems like they were able to forget what had happened on those two drives and respond.
Well, I think a big part of that, Coach Sumlin had a chance to get the entire team together before we went into that overtime deal. And I think that was as big as anything, to get that mental state where it needed to be. And they responded. And, let's just tell the truth. I mean, how can you not be proud? I mean, because if you don't respond, this may be a whole different deal that we're talking about today, but they responded to what Coach Sumlin put in front of them, and they did a tremendous job of playing on both sides of the ball, of playing that overtime situation.
Good time for a couple more. We'll go left side, Cease, and we'll come back to Ben.
How did you grade the backup defensive end? You talk about, he had a lot of depth on that position. Just seemed like maybe they struggled a little bit when they were in the game to the naked eye.
Well, I don't know that they struggled. I mean, when you start comparing them to the two starters, and sometimes that's a little bit unfair, because our two starters are and listen, don't get me wrong, we want them to be just like the starters, but to say they struggled, I wouldn't say that. I think they played up to the capability that we expected, and I think they did a good job, but we're not going to judge them by how the two starters played.
Ben here on the right side, middle, wrap us up.
You think that, I guess going back to that Evans pick that, kind of gave A&M a shot to send it to win it in regulation, do you think that interception, given the way the fourth quarter was going, gave y'all enough momentum to pull it out in overtime as opposed to any other way that would have ended?
Well, I think it was, as there are a lot of big plays in the game, there's no doubt that was a big play. If he doesn't make that play, who knows? It may not have gone in overtime. There's all those possibilities, and I'm not going to think of those. I'm going to just think of seeing him leap 10 feet up in there and make that interception, and it was a great play.
All right. Thank you for your time, Coach.